Hey there guys, it's Jackie from Cruise in the Kitchen. So today we're going to be making leftover turkey noodle soup from Thanksgiving's turkey. And we will be using a combination of freeze-dried and fresh ingredients. One of the things that you need to know is that to follow this, you don't have to have freeze-dried ingredients. You can do it with fresh. It'll just take a little bit longer to actually cook. Like for instance, the carrots are canned. They were pressure canned, and so they will have already been cooked a bit. And then the freeze-dried goodness just needs to rehydrate a little bit. If it were fresh, it might have to cook down a little bit more to become translucent. These aren't translucent, but it just might be a little bit different. Now, because of having the freeze dryer, when I cook now, I try to, if I plan on freeze drying any of it, which we may or may not, I will try to stay away from using butters or oils. Like normally in a recipe for this, you would either saute the onions and herbs and such in butter or oil until they became translucent. And that's not the case. We will be using my home canned chicken broth from our chickens that we raise here. And that's what we'll be using to rehydrate and begin to cook the ingredients. So I'm going to go over the ingredients that we'll be using today. And again, they do not have to be freeze-dried. Okay, so again, the chicken broth, I have 2 quarts of that. I will be using our freeze-dried homegrown onions. These are white onions. Yes, white onions today. I will be using celery tops as a means for flavor instead of parsley. I'm out of parsley homegrown. Homegrown oregano, that is freeze-dried. Homegrown thyme, that is freeze-dried. I'll be using a pint of carrots from the garden that have been pressure canned. I will be using a little bit of garlic that has been freeze-dried. We'll be using fresh celery from the garden. Fresh celery. And then salt, pepper, and of course the turkey that we've taken off of the legs. And so without further ado, let's get busy. All right, so we are plugged in and ready to go. I've just turned on the hot plate. And so let's go ahead and open and pour in a little bit of the chicken broth. Okay, there's one. Smells good. So I'm just putting in enough to coat the bottom. And I'm going to go ahead and put the celery in. Now, I'm not measuring. If you're following the channel, you will understand that that is not my goal. I do not measure when I cook. It is not in my makeup here. So I'm going to go ahead and get some onions in here. Again, those are freeze-dried. If I had to guess, that might be equivalent to like a half of an onion. The dog's going nuts. All right, so here are our celery tops, and I'm just gonna crunch those up in there. Again, no measuring. Just measure with love. Measure with love and then taste later to see how it tastes. Here is thyme. There's a couple little sticks in there. That's what you get when it's all homegrown. All right, so we will go ahead and dump that thyme in there. Okay. And we will let that heat up. Oh, it smells good already. So this is one of the things that I absolutely love about, I love this about cooking. Now, if you watched my last video, the savory chicken video, you may recall that I have a whole other channel that is dedicated to our homestead and gardening and raising chickens and rabbits and composting. And you can find that at Cruisin', K-R-U-S-I-N, the Sierra Farm. Cruisin' the Sierra Farm. And this is what's so rewarding about this channel, is that I get to use all of the food that we grow and raise here on the farm. Oh, I forgot the garlic. All right, so here goes the garlic. Anyway, it came to fruition after COVID hit us. And so we do indeed grow as much food here as we can, and we put away for the winter. And so these are some of the ingredients that we get to reap the benefits of in our cooking. I have almost every herb that I normally cook with in my stockpile, which I love. While that heats up and the flavors meld, I'm going to go ahead and dump our pepper. So I'm going to use maybe about 1/4 teaspoon. And on the salt, I'm going to go ahead and add maybe a teaspoon. Okay. Now you can adjust that to your diet. If you can't have salt, allow the flavors of the food and the chicken broth and the turkey to flavor your meat and all the herbs, and that'll be fine. So as you can see, it's starting to bubble down there a bit. I'm just going to let all these flavors meld for a bit. It smells so good. So good. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and pour the rest of this broth in. Let that cook down a little bit while I open the remaining broth. Chicken noodle soup or turkey noodle soup is pretty basic. Pretty basic cooking. It may not be for some, but it is for me. And honestly, you can just about do however you like, as long as it's tasty to you. All right, so now that I've got that in there, I'm gonna go ahead and add the carrots. And we're gonna go ahead and put the water that was with the carrots. Oh my gosh, those smell wonderful. We're gonna add the water in there too. All right, so we've got our carrots now. And I'm gonna go ahead and drop the turkey in. If you want yours heavy on the turkey, add heavy turkey. If it takes up a lot of your broth, then add broth. Again, just do it to your liking. And we're just gonna let this do its thing and meld flavors for a while. It's 4:30 in the afternoon. I'm gonna go ahead and put a lid on here and just let it do its thing. And we'll come back and check in on it to see that the celery softened, the onions are good. And then we'll taste it to see how the flavor is, and if we need to add anything at that time, we will definitely do so. All right, so it's been cooking for a while now. And we are gonna go ahead and add the semolina noodles. They are like a little tiny noodle. I would say thinner than spaghetti, maybe like angel hair size, but little tiny pieces. So let's get the lid off of here. I'm only gonna pour in maybe half of it. Actually, I might be able to do more than that. I'll just do the whole bag. And we'll just let this sit until those noodles are nice and soft. All right, guys, so the soup is done. And you can see it rather thickened up on its own, and I believe that's from the noodles, maybe the starch in the noodles. So we're gonna leave it just as is. No need to add anything. So I hope you like this video. Again, it wasn't anything spectacular, but I wanted to share it with you and show you how wonderfully easy it can be to cook with freeze-dried ingredients, mainly freeze-dried ingredients. And we'll catch you on the next video. I hope you have a fantastic Sunday evening, or whenever you're watching this. Have a great day. Until next time.